Why, hello there, lovely one. We're going to go through the test that you've just done. If you haven't done it yet, go back and look at the questions. That way you can come here and figure out what you don't understand, rather than just trying to look at everything to try and get all the answers right. Let's look at the first question. Determine the next term of the sequence. And we've got 9, 18, 27. Now we know between 9 and 18, we're either going to add 9 or we're going to multiply by 2. If we're multiplying by 2, then we'll get 18. If we're adding 9, then we'll get 18. What if we multiply 18 by 2? Well, that's definitely not 27, so we can say that it's not going to be multiplying by 2. But 18 plus 9 is going to give us 27, so that means the next term is going to be 27 plus 9, which is 36. Not bad at all. Question 2. Determine the number of squares that will be in the next image. Okay, so we've got 3 squares, then we've got 6, then we've got 9. Okay, there's 9, plus 3 is 12. It's good counting technique. Section off what you can see immediately. So that's 9, and that's 6. So 9 plus 6 is 15. How many blocks are we adding each time? Look, we're adding 3. We're adding 3. We're adding 3. And we're adding 3. Determine the number of squares that will be in the next image. Well, if we add 3 to 15, it's going to be 18. Let's move on a little. Question 3. How many triangles will be in the fifth picture? Well, let's look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles in the first picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 triangles in the second. But if we analyze the difference between the first picture and the second picture, we can see that 2 were added on this side and 2 were added on that side. So those 2 are new and those 2 are new. So following that logic, we could say the next one is 12. Let's see if we're correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, that's quite nice. So we're adding 4. We're adding 4. We've got to get to the fifth picture, so the fourth picture will be 16. And add 4 to that. That'll be 20. So that's quite nice. Number 4. Find the value of the 10th term if the sequence where the first 3 terms are 2, 5, and 8, and the 17th term is 50. Let's start by looking at 2, 5, and 8. 2 to 5 is plus 3. And 5 to 8 is also plus 3. So is this a difficult question? Not at all. Our first 3 terms are there. In order to get to our fourth term, we plus 3, and that gives us 11. Plus 3, 14, plus 3, 17. Now we're on our sixth term. Plus 3, 20, 23, 26. Let's see how many we've done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which means the 10th term is going to be 29. So what is all of this then? That's something we call noise. You don't actually need to know that bit of information. Okay, question 5. If x plus 3, x, and x plus 6 are the first 3 terms of a sequence, and negative 8, 16, and negative 32 are the next 3 terms, find the value of x. Okay, let's write this down. X plus 3 is the first term, then x is the second, then x plus 6. Okay, then we've got negative 8, 16, and lastly negative 32. What's happening between these three terms? How do I get from negative 8 to 16? Well, I could say that I've added 32, but then it won't really work out with this. What I can tell you is that I've multiplied by negative 2. So negative 8 multiplied by negative 2 gives me positive 16. And 16 multiplied by negative 2 is going to give me negative 32. So what does this mean about this value over here? Well, now I've got to divide by negative 2. Negative 8 divided by negative 2 is going to be 4, right? That should be 4, which means that this one should be negative 2 and this one should be 1. Let's make sure that works. 1 times by negative 2 is negative 2, times by negative 2 is 4, times by negative 2 is negative 8, so that's working. That means x is equals to negative 2. We don't need to find the values of that and that, because we were just asked to find the value of x, and that's what we've done. The next question. Determine the number of squares that will be in the 10th picture. Now, the temptation is to draw all of these out, but that takes a really, really long time. So let's look at the number of squares. In the first picture, we have 2 squares. In the second, we have 6. In the third, we've got 9 plus 3, that's 12. In the fourth, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 20. 4 times 5 is 20. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which gives us 5 times 6 is 30. Is there really a pattern here? Yes, we are adding 4, and then we're adding 8, and then we're adding, we're adding 6 there, and then we're adding 8. It's a good thing to check your work, isn't it? And then we're adding 10. So there's a nice pattern in the amounts that we're adding. But also look at this. It's 1 times 2, and this one is 2 times by 3 blocks. This one is 3 times by 4 blocks. Look at that. Our term number and the one above our term number. So over here, it's going to be 4 and 5. And this will be 5 and 6, which means our 7th picture will be 7 times by 8. And our 8th picture will be 8 times by 9. So our 10th picture is a lovely one. It's going to be 10 times by 11, which is 110. Not bad. You could have done it with adding all of the things every time. Nothing wrong with that at all. The only thing you shouldn't do is to draw the pictures over and over again, because then you will run out of time. Okay, question 7. Determine the number of circles that will be in the next image. Well, we've got 2, and we've got 4, and we've got 6, got 8, and we've got 10. It's increasing in 2s, isn't it? So that's not bad. We know that in the next image, there are going to be 12 circles. Patterns aren't that difficult, really. You've just got to think about what you're doing. Determine the number of matches that will be in the 7th picture. Well, in the first one, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, we know here we've got 6 matches. But how many are here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means in total we've got 10 matches. Okay, over here we know that we have 6. And in the last picture we counted these and they were 4. Let's count these ones now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means we've got 14. Let's just write a 4 rather than a 2. So our number pattern is 6, 10, 14. What are we adding each time? We're adding 4 matches. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got to get to the 7th picture. This is the first one, that's the second, that's the third. The 4th is going to be 18. The 5th will be 22. The 6th will be 26. And the 7th picture will be 30 matches. Once again, drawing it takes far too much time, so don't do that. Question 9. Consider the pattern. Now this pattern is actually very famous. It's called Pascal's triangle. And there are all sorts of patterns, like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Yes, that is a pattern. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 3, 6, 10. There's 2 difference, there's 3 difference, there's 5 difference. It's fascinating, actually. But then if you look at it this way, 1 plus 2 gives me 3. 3 plus 3 gives me 6. 4 plus 6 gives me 10. Really, really nice patterns. So determine the next values in the next row. Well, I know it's going to be 1 and 1. Then 1 plus 5 gives me 6. And I might as well do it over here as well, because you'll see that it's symmetrical. So 1 plus 5 gives me 6. 5 plus 10 is 15. Once again, it's symmetrical, so I might as well put the 15 over here at the same time. And lastly, 10 plus 10 is 20. Now that's not the only way to get the answer, but it is the way I chose. So I automatically think it's the easiest. So let's just write it down more neat. I'm not exactly working very neatly today. Oh well, we all have our off days, don't we? So the next row would have been these numbers. Fascinating, isn't it? Okay, the last question, question 10. If 3 minus x, x and 7 plus x are the first 3 terms of a sequence, and 19, 26, and 33 are the next 3 terms, find the value of x. Once again, we're not wanting to find the value of the first term, then the second, then the third. We just want to find the value of x. So let's once again write down all the terms. There's the first term, the second term, the third term, the fourth term is 19, fifth term is 26, and while you're writing this out, you should be thinking about patterns. Okay, what's happening between 33 and 26? Well, we're adding 7. And between 19 and 26, once again, we're adding 7. So over here, this should be 12, right? Because 12 plus 7 gives us 19, which means that this over here is going to be 5. That makes a lot of sense. So x is equals to 5. The section is not as bad as it looks. You just have to think logically about what's going on, and then you'll be fine. It's a lovely, lovely section. And I'm not sure if I spelled logically correct, but you'll just have to love me anyway. Much love.